How are you all doing, Ralfy here, Ralfy Customs? Time for phase 5, I think it is, of RL's AJS Softail chop. So here is the Gs500 engine, and it needs to go in there. So I think it's obvious that these ain't going to work, they're too close together, and these ain't going to fit anything, that's just not right. So I think that first thing to do is chop all this shit off, the unnecessaries. I was going to leave it. It needs to be on the jig to fit the engine, because we need to line the transmission up and make sure everything's true and plumb and fucking right. So I was a bit reluctant to take it off here, but I might do that just for the sake of cleaning it up. So we're going to do, like I say, we're going to clean all of this shit off. I'm hoping that's not in the way. If it is, then that'll have to go. In which case we'll decide where the new one's going to go and fit that before we cut that out. But I'm going to take them brackets off, take all these off, everything that's in the way. I know these are going, so I'm going to use a combination of the plasma cutter and your trusty cutting disc. Yeah, what I'll do, I'll stick you on time lapse, so you can be up in the corner watching me do it for the next 30 seconds or so, and it's going to take me quite a bit longer than that. Right, after much cutting, grinding, sanding and huffing and puffing, we have those rear mounts gone. I took these brackets off, they need to come off at the same time. I think what I'll do next is another one gone off there, a wire keep, that wire guide thing we don't need. That can go bye-byes, well it has, but the welds need knobbing off. And we'll take these off, these and these on both sides off camera. I won't use the plasma for that. I will just use the cutting disc and the sander. So yeah, that's took me about an hour to do these, even using the plasma cutter. So we shall endeavour onwards and upwards. Okie dokie, by the power of fucking television and dihydrocodeine, we have got all that shit cleaned off now. Yeah, I've also took the support out that was running there, because I'm very much guesstimating that this sump is going to sit in between there. I'm not 100%. What I need to do, what I could really do with is the spacers and caliper carrier. So I know exactly how wide the back wheel is, but what will remain fixed no matter what is the distance from this spacer to the outside of the sprocket. And whatever that is, we need to maintain that from here in, because that's where it'll be, and that needs to line up with the chain. So that'll be next on the agenda, not making sense. So the engine needs to get in that cradle and be sitting level and plumb, yeah, not pissed up in any way, shape or form, and the chain needs to line up. So that is next on the agenda. Right, not unsurprisingly, that don't quite go in. The problem is that cross member underneath is well and truly hitting the sump. It don't fit down anywhere near where I would like it to. It's just fouling the rear there, like. So that's going to have to go, and we're going to have to replace it. Now, because we have the oil filter, we need to come above the oil filter with whatever we put in there, and I'm not totally happy about chopping it out and not putting anything in there. I don't think it will move. I mean, there's a good span with a couple of bends to give it a bit of added rigidity. Try saying that 4 times fast. But I would be happier. I might tack a temporary sprag across there, a brace, just a bit of flat, just to stop anything moving. And I might not, but either way, that engine's got to come out and that crossmember's got to come out.
Don't forget, folks, our Fuck Stock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuck Stock, you know it makes sense.
Okay, so, excuse me, we huffed and we puffed and we got that lump out. Now, measuring up from the sump is where the engine mount, that is where the front engine mount goes. So I'm not sure about putting one directly there because I don't know how it's going to fall. Measuring up from the sump again, we need to clear that oil filter housing. So we need to come above this line. So I'm going to stick one in there between the two to hold that. And I'm going to tack it in place before we cut the bottom one out, although it will get in the way a little bit. But I don't want to mess this springing apart now because I'm not sure that the forces that have been on it, like, you know, it could be under tension. So I've gone between the two. I've gone a bit lower than the front mount, and I've gone a bit higher than the oil filter down there that you can't see properly. And we're just going to tack that in place before I cut that bottom one out, and then we can oof the engine back in and see where we're at. Righty-o-dy. So with that tacked in, look, Ralfy tacks, Lizzie tacks, and the old one cut out, that was a right fucking pain in the arse to get into. I've not cleaned it properly. There's still shit hanging off the bottom, but this is all going to come apart at some stage and we can do it then. We should now, hopefully, be able to clean this bench off a bit. Actually, it's quite clean. And pick that lump up, drop it in that gap, and then check. This is, what's important is that we are 11 mil from there in when we put a straight edge down his front sprocket, so that we know his drive line's going to fit, and obviously that we're square and true and all that vajazzle like. So next up we'll hump that in that gap. It's a big gap actually, so hopefully we won't have too much issue. Right, so we have just noticed it's kind of a blessing that it wouldn't go in the first time, because this bolt's stuck in and we need it not to be so we can do the new mounts. It's stuck in that hard that whoever's took it out the frame's cut the fucking lug off the frame look. So I'm going to maybe have to warm it up with a gas axe or the map gas, and that's been chewed on there a bit long. So and definitely spray some penetrating spray in and let it soak a bit. So that needs coming out before we can proceed, because I don't want to be fucking about with it when it's on the bench and all lined up and that, do we? Okay folks, it is 2 days later because we had a day off for various reasons which I won't go into, and we have been leaving this little pupper soaking in the tool buddy. Liz has done a couple of preliminary love taps on the end of the spindle, the bolt there, the engine mount, and she reckons it fucking ain't going anywhere, but I'm going to try, and then we'll take it to stage 2 if it don't move. Right, this I'm going to use a drift to try and knock this out, and there's 2 reasons. One is I don't want to be twatting this casing. Someone's already had a go by the looks of it, because there's a few fucking love bites on that casing. I don't want to break his casing. And I don't want to mushroom this over, although it already is a little bit mushroomed over, but that, if it moves, I'll just cut the fucking thing off. So I'm going to go in with a brass punch. I'm just going to move it your way a little bit. Give myself more swing. Get the old brass punch on, give it some fucking weller. Again, we don't want to snap, I don't think you're going to snap them off, but you've got to take it into consideration, because that would be a bad day, wouldn't it? And we'll give it some really big bollocks. I don't want to get the sledgehammer out, but I think it is safe to say that ain't fucking moving anywhere. So we'll go on to phase 2. So phase 2, instead of giving it love taps with my favourite, it's not my favourite actually, it's a little bit big for daily, for all the time, but my biggest ball peen. We're going to hit it with the air chisel. With I use this a lot when I'm trying to get, this has got it, look, busted exhaust studs out. I weld a nut on and then give it some rattle action. The high frequency of the blows can help shock it out rather than the continuous. It don't hit as hard as me with a sledgehammer, but it's a fuck of a lot faster. So put your ear protection on. Even I'll put my ear protection on when I'm using this, and I'm already going fucking deaf. So just watch your ears, mate. Ooh, hold on, here we go. I'll give it some fucking ratty-tatty-tatty. And again, I think we can say that's going no fucking where. So we'll try a different approach. So we're going in with the mat gas. We're going to try and expand the aluminium. We're going to warm it up and that'll swell. And hopefully the corrosion that's bonded the two things together will relax a little bit. So I've blown all the oil out that we put in, which is not going to set fire to it. You could use your oxyacetylene, which I probably would do, but mat gas is something good shit. This will get nice and warm. It's going to warm all the aluminium up, all the way around it for a few minutes. It's a long way off being on, but the unofficial test is spit on your finger and dab it and see if it spits sizzles out. So we'll give it plenty of that. Okay, so that will be fucking hell, it is nice and hot, that is. So hopefully, fucking hell, it wasn't quite when I turned that on. Hopefully it'll succumb to the love taps. Let's have a go. No, fuck it, man. That's fucking ridiculous. That ain't going no fucking man, is it? Fuck's sake. Try again. I'll give it a couple more and then we'll move to fucking plan 3. Plan C. Come on. No. That's still rock solid. Look. Nothing there. You can give it some of this action, but I don't think that's going to help. I think that they've co-joined. They're like fucking Siamese. There's corrosion and neglect. Yeah, we'll have to do something else. Right, here's the fucking plan. So, put some gloves on there so we're not filling his fucking exhaust full of grinding, because we're going to be grinding all his oil cooler galleries, whatever they are. I think they are. Don't know. They look a bit healed up. Maybe their airflow, cold air system or something. I don't know. We're going to cut this now with a cutting disc straight through the whole lot. This one clears a bit, but it's bent, so it's hitting the casing. And what I want to do is leave a bit sticking out, because I'm going to go on the lathe and I'm going to make a guide that slides over that with a small hole in the end, so the pilot drill that I'm going to put in runs down the middle of this, not off to one side. It makes it a lot easier to drill. So I'm going to cut these off, leave a bit sticking out, go on the lathe, make a drill guide, and then come back. It should have cooled off enough by then to be all right to drill into, and all we can do really is fucking drill it. I don't want to drill holes in this to soak stuff in. I've tried soaking it for over 24 hours. I've tried warming it up. I've tried hitting it as hard as I dare. So yeah, I think we are going to have to mechanically remove the material. Right, so we're going to make a quick and dirty fucking drill guide. Now, if you've not got a lathe, I'm pretty sure you can buy something very similar to this. I've just chucked up a bit of old hot rolled and I'm just facing the end off so that we can get the drill down the middle. It's going to have two sizes. It's going to have an hole in one end that goes over that stud that's sticking out now, or the sheared off, the cut off engine bolt, and then it's going to have a little guide hole for the pilot drill in the end. So we'll just clean this end up, and then we'll turn the OD down. We could leave it quite chunky actually, but I want enough clearance. I'm going to go and double check that side. I've checked and this would actually fit as it is, but it's a bit rough in the hand, so I'm just literally going to give it a clean up skim. A little bit more. It's still not quite cutting straight. We want a full cut all the way along, so we've got a bit of nice something to hold in our hand, don't we? Because, you know, we deserve good shit, don't we? So we'll machine that all the way down to the chuck. The whole thing's only got to be about 20mm long, 22mm long, so that's more than enough at that. And again, because this will end up living on my bench for future use, we'll just shampoo the ends a little bit, like that. Right, now we're on to the delicate process. I've decided, in my wisdom, that this is going to have an 1/8 hole in the end, so 3.5mm is near enough. I just want to get that centred. We have got about 10mm to play with, so I can use the middle of that centre drill as a bit of a counter bore. Okay. In with the 3.5mm drill bit. Nice and steady. This well, it's not going to counter bore, is it? The centre of that. No, look. So anyway, we'll get that drilled nice and carefully. We're not looking for heroes. We're looking for a 20mm deep hole, so let's just go steady away. It'd be really easy to snap this drill bit off in there if we went at it like a bull in a china shop. So we'll go a little bit, we'll lube it up, and then we'll go again until we get deep enough to do the job. We'll switch out to a 10mm, which will fit over that engine bolt. So again, lube it up, bring it up, and we'll need to go about 10mm deep. We'll take that 10mm deep, or thereabouts. Don't matter if it's a bit less, as long as we've got enough to sit on that shaft that we're left sticking out to misses. And now we just need to part it off and clean the end up, and the job's a fish. So we bring this in, leaving it as about 20mm or so. Like so. I'm just feeding by hand, nice and steady. Keep it lubed up. Bear in mind there's only a 3mm hole in the middle of this, so we're going pretty much full thickness. I haven't locked the saddle off because I'm confident in this lathe's capabilities, and I'm just feeding it gently by hand, so no dramas there. And it should be popping off any second now. Looking down the gap. Come on, baby. Come on. There we go. So I'll get that end cleaned up, and then we can go back over to the job. So now, this is not very even, and this is not as tight a fit as I would like, but we can hold it true. And we can come in with this, and we can attempt to drill that in the middle, and then go from there. So I'll just go again. It just literally just helps us stay true, so that we're not pissed up when we're drilling it, because we've got quite a way to go. So once we get it started, we know we're not a mile off. And we didn't have to centre punch it, we didn't have to fuck about doing anything. And from there, we can drill it like so. That's it. So we've gone a good depth, we've gone right up to about here with that pilot. I'm going to run an 8, which is smaller than the shaft. If I can, I'm there with. I might have to go a bit smaller to start with, see how it drills. I'm going to follow that in I'm hoping that the smaller size will let the sides of the fucking bolt collapse in. I might have to go in stages because everything moves, look, as you can see. It's a bit fucking tricky, to be fair. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a 6mm bit and drill it deep, and then I'll go with the 8mm, and then we'll knock it from the other end and see if it lets go. And if it don't, we'll go in with a 10mm. So that'll be that. Right, we'll drill that out to 8 to rear like, so that is a 1mm wall now, which is quite flimsy, and I'm hoping that it lets go. I'm hoping that two things, isn't I? I'm hoping that this ain't corroded, because that one fucking was, so it'll tap through from this end, and that the size of that will let go because they're only 1mm thick. Let's have a look. Fuck off. Nope. Oh, maybe. No, not a fucking chance. So what I'll do now, I'll drill it to 10, but first I'll trim that off flush. I'll get in with a cutting disc off camera, trim that, give it a quick sand so we're nice and flush, so I'm not trying to drill a tube in mid-air like, and then drill it out to 10mm, and then we'll try knocking it out this way. If not, we'll have to drill and do that end the same. Simple. Some time later. Fucking Jesus, I didn't think we were going to get this one, I'll be honest. We ended up drilling this one, going it off flush, drilling it to past the fucking point of no return. Look, right in there you can see it, and then twatting it out. This one drifted off a bit and caught his casing, but the casing's not munted. I was thinking maybe we need to bore it out and make a sleeve to realign the engine bolts, but I'm pretty sure we've got away with it. But fucking hell, that was arduous. So yeah, we drilled all of that out the best we could, and it would not move, so we came in and drilled this out the best we could, and it's come out. I will say this fucking engine bolt is tough as fuck. I've never had to sharpen drill bits so much on 2 holes. And it, like I said, caused a bit of drift then. We've drifted off. I'll try and show you. Hold on. So I'm not going to twist it, but there's no wall in it at the back. Look, you see where my finger's gone? That's because the drill bit has hit this and been pushed off slightly and gone into the alley casing. Again, if you look at the hole there, you can't really see it, so we've got away with it. But fucking Jesus, that was very touch and go. Okie fucking dokie. Oh, my phone's telling me I've got an hour's recording left, so I need to clear some fucking clutter. Right, that is in there. It only just fucking fits. So I was correct. And Tyler, if you're watching, I don't even know if you watch. Alan Tyler from Hampshire. Ain't it? Support the Diamond Empire. Yeah, they do fit in. I was worried that you know, let's not get into that, but it fits. There is just clearance on the sump, and I mean just clearance on the sump. We would not have got it without moving that cross member. Everything is now true. The chain lines up with where the chain's going to come on the off this axle plate. It's 11mm off the outer spacer on the sprocket carrier to the outside of the sprocket, and that's that line. And when we straight edge across, everything's fucking pucker. We are plumbing true with this and this. Ignore that in the background if you can hear it. The Black Widows theme. So what we'll do now is we've got packers in underneath, keeping everything where we need it. We'll tack these to the bench so that if we nudge it while we're fucking about, there's no fear of moving it. And we'll start getting some engine mounts on it. Okie fucking dokie, so that is in, that is sorted, that is square as said. We have formulated how we're going to make the plates and the supports for the plates. The threaded insert there's going to be threaded inserts on 1, 2, 3, 4 plates, and then external ones on the last 2 plates, giving us 6 plates holding it in altogether. And that will be fitted in there. Fucking pucker geezer. Everything lines up, as I've said. Everything fits. It is slightly offset, but not by much, because that's where it needs to be for the sprockets to line up and the sump to clear these bottom rails. If this didn't fucking line up, then we would have to cut the bottom rails out because the sump's in the way, or lift the engine up and move it across, but then you're going to be right tight on here, and this is going to be in the wrong place for this, so you're going to start eating into this if you're not careful. It's already a massive stretch as far as I'm concerned, but that is how they are. So yeah, sorted. So there you go, there's another phase done. Took a lot fucking longer than anticipated with that seized in bolt. That was horrendous, honestly. That proper nearly beat me. I got up from that, I needed to sit down. So it just leaves me as always to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up and a sub. Consider joining the channel as a member. Please follow along. Check out all the bump in the description below, and I will catch you on the next one soon. Big love everyone. Take care.